Hello, students. As per your request, here is a payoff diagram of four positions that we are going to discuss now. So, if you remember, in a class, we have discussed about long and short. So, long call, and then I will write this as short call. We all know that what is a call option. So, call option means right to buy. So, and when we are going to use this term call with long, what does it mean? It means to buy call option. And this means to sell call option. So, any entity or an individual who is buying a call option, they are basically having a right on it. Right of what? Right to buy. And any entity or a person who is basically doing a short call, which means he's selling a call option. So, what he's doing, he's selling a right to buy to some other person. He is an obligatory party, right? And we are supposed to make a payoff diagram for it. So in order to for our understanding, let's take K as 100. K means a strike price. Let's take premium as 5, and this is exactly the same example that I'm taking, which I have discussed in class, so that you will have more reinforcement. So let's put this here as 100, then here as 110, 120, and then the spot rate could be 90 and 80, and let's say 70. Okay, this is a spot rate, and this is where your payoff is. And now we have to start thinking about it from the perspective of that position holder. So now we are going to draw a payoff diagram for a long call. Now think about it, that why this person have entered into a right to buy, because he has some fear. What was the fear? Because he is a buyer. So always the fear of the buyer that in future the spot rate will be bullish, right? That's his future. So, in order to lock himself, he has entered into this option position. So, when he is going to exercise the contract, so a person who is having a call option, when will he exercise this contract? He will only exercise the contract when his fear will come true. And he'll be happy because he has safeguarded himself by way of entering into an option contract. So this means what I'm saying, that whenever your spot rate is greater than K, that's where this person long call is going to exercise that. So think about it, SR was 100, then SR became 110, SR became 120. This means will he exercise or not? So given this position, I ask that spot rate is more than 100. Will he exercise? What's your answer? You will say that yes, he will exercise. He will exercise, yes, because he will be buying at 100 when the spot rate will be 110 or 120. So think about it. If he has spot rate which is greater than your strike price, that's where he will exercise. And higher this rate is, higher the spot rate, higher will be his payoff. Think about a situation where he will not exercise. So, if at all, if the spot rate is 90, will he exercise? No, let it lapse. If the spot rate is 80, will he exercise right to buy? No, he will not exercise, let it lapse. So, if there is a lapse, in order to enter into this contract, he has paid certain premium to it, and that's what $5 it is that in this example that he has paid. So what will happen, that if the spot rate is less than K, he will not exercise the contract, and if at all he is not exercising the contract, the max to max that he will be losing is -5. I'll put it as minus 5. So that's a maximum loss that he may incur, which is only $5, provided that he is not at all exercising this contract. So that is the first payoff diagram for a long call, right? Now, If at all we are supposed to prepare another payoff diagram which talks about a short call, let's see how does that work. And in order to tell you just a small trick to so that you will never go wrong in option position, is to follow only what that right holder will do. So in this case, we have understood that how to prepare the payoff diagram for a long call, right? Now we will see using the same example that how to prepare a payoff diagram for a short call. So first understand what is the short call. Short call means to sell a call option. This means this is one such person who have sold right to buy, which means he has sold call option to others. And if he have sold call option to others, he do not have any right. He is an obligatory party. Whatever the other person who holds the right will say, he has to just simply follow that. So here again in the same example, we will take it as 100, which is our spot rate, which is our strike price. Say suppose the spot rate is 110 or a spot rate is 120, or it could be 90, 80, and 70, right? Now think about it. What the long position holder will do. This means what this person is going to do in the same scenario. So he will exercise, and I'm preparing a short call, but I'm thinking from long call perspective, right? So this means whenever the SR is greater than K, the right holder will exercise. Who will exercise? The person who holds the right. Now ask a question. Do this short call position holder holds the right? No, he do not holds the right, right? So which means that if at all this long call is going to exercise this, that's where his loss will come. This means when this person is exercising, he will exercise when the spot rate is higher, when the spot rate is 110, when the spot rate is 120. The other person, this means long call, will exercise. The moment long call will exercise, it is going to be a loss for a short call. Why? Because short call do not have any right. Whatever the long call, whatever the position that he is taking, short call have to completely obey that. This means that if the price became 110, the long call will exercise, it will become a loss for a short call. So what will happen, say suppose it became 100, it became 110, 120. Now, why this is coming in minus? It is coming in minus because this is the person who holds the right. He will exercise, and the moment he will exercise, he will get a loss. The short call will always have a loss because the long call is having a payoff, having a profitability. So, when the spot rate is 110, long call will exercise. Yes, if he'll exercise, can short call can do anything? No, he's the one who have actually sold call option to him. So he can't do anything. So higher the spot rate, the higher is the chance that a long call will exercise the contract, and therefore whatsoever is the payoff for a long call, that will eventually be a loss for a short call. Think about it. If the spot rate, here is a spot rate, if the spot rate is 90 or 70 or 80, will this long call holder exercise? No, he will not exercise, and he will say okay, let it lapse, which he has done in this situation. If you remember when we were discussing this, 70 spot rate, 80 spot rate, 90 spot rate, it is lesser than the K. This long call will not exercise, and if he will not exercise, he will have a loss of -5. That's what the profitability of a short call is. So short call, if at all it is 70, 80, and 90, the other person long call is not exercising. If the long call is not exercising, this will be the situation, and this will be the +5. So his loss will eventually become his profit because he is not exercising. There is a lapse in a contract, and therefore what he is doing, he is really getting that premium out of it. And that what exactly stands as the difference between long and a short call. If you pay attention to this diagram, this is absolutely a mirror image. When I say mirror image, this means this line has gone up. Okay, let me just draw this again. So what I mean to say that this line has gone up, which is this line, and from this point to this point where it is going up, similarly, this line is coming down. So let me just draw this nicely. So, what I mean to say is when the spot rate is less, lapse in a contract, if there is a lapse in a contract, it's profit for me, it's a covered profit, more than 5 I can't enjoy. And the moment the price is increasing, the spot rate is increasing, that's where long call will exercise. The moment long call will exercise, short call is an obligatory party, he will start to incur a losses. And that is what the difference between the long and a short call it's all about. It is absolute mirror image of each other. So I believe that here you may have understood the long call and a short call in option position. Now I'm going to discuss about the long put and a short put payoff diagram. So before we discuss further, we need to understand what the long put and short put is all about. So put option means right to sell, and long put means buying right to sell. So buying right to sell. Similarly, short put means selling right to sell. So always a buyer will have a right, and what is the right? He is basically, or the entity is basically is the right holder. It is they who are going to decide that whether they want to exercise the contract or not. And this is again an obligatory party because they have sold this right to sell to someone else. So these are obligatory party. Now, if I just go on here down and I will use exactly the same figures that I have used in the previous example, that is K 100, which is the strike price premium, would be 5. And I'm going to put this K somewhere here as 100, similarly here somewhere here as 100. This, as I already told you, that this is SR, which means the spot rate. So spot rate can be 110, spot rate can be 120, or it can be 90, 80, 70. And whenever you're drawing a payoff diagram, saying even in your exam, it is always recommended that you use the same figures, the numbers for all your payoff diagrams. So it is easy for you. And similarly here 70, 80, and 90 somewhere and 100 up. Okay, now let's see. Let's understand what was the fear of this long put option. Why he bought right to sell? Because the fear that in future the spot rate will be bearish, right? That's what his fear. This means he's going to exercise the contract only when his fear will come true. And what's his fear? His fear is that in future the spot rate will be lesser than K, right? Spot rate will be lesser than K, which means that spot rate will be 70. Now the question is this, that if the spot rate is 70 and your K is 100, you have a put option. Will you exercise or you will not? You will say that yes, I want to exercise. So this means when will a long put will be exercised? Long put will always be exercised when your spot rate is lesser than your strike price, which means that lower the spot rate, then in comparison to your exercise price, the higher is the chances that this will be exercised. So say suppose it was 70, then it was 80, and then it was 90. So this means there is always a chance that this will be exercised, right? So till here, this will be exercised. And all of these inside, this is what we call a payoff, right? So higher is the chances of exercise. When is the higher chances of exercise? When the spot rate will be low. So think about it, 100 minus 70, 30 payoff, 100 minus 80, 20 payoff. So in this one, you can see that as soon as the prices are going down, the spot rate is going down, that's where there is a higher chances that the long put will be exercised. Now think about it, that the spot rate became 110, the spot rate became 120. What will happen? This will not be exercised. And if this will not be exercised, then what will happen? I will only lose 5. which is my premium. I will only lose 5, and that is the reason we say that it's very covered. So my maximum loss that I may have by saying that I do not want to exercise the contract because the spot rate is 110, 120 is 5 only, and that is the reason you are losing it. So I'm writing it as a minus 5. So a kind of an this is the kind of a diagram. I'll just erase this line and try and make it actually a clear line. Okay, so here it is. So from here to here at the top again. Sorry, it's still it's not a very straight line. Okay, so let me draw this with the help of some shape. Okay, so guys, kindly bear with me. So this means from here to here. Okay, this is better, quite better. So here, this is what my long put payoff will look like. Now let's talk about short put. And short put, it's an obligatory party. This means if he is exercising, he will have a loss. If there's a lapse here, he will have a profit. Okay. Now let's see. So in order to draw a payoff diagram for a short put, I have to understand that what long put might be doing, because who holds the right? Long put. So think about it again. When your SR is lesser than your K, he is exercising. This is the zone of exercise. That's where I'm saying that where lies my payoff. So he will exercise. Long put will exercise when the spot rate is 70, 80, 90, right? This means if he will exercise, it's a loss for him because he's the one who sold right to sell. He can't do anything. Whatever the long put will say that I want to exercise the contract, he's an obligatory party. So you have to just simply follow it. So this means when the spot rate he is exercising to have the payoff, that's what his loss is going to all about. This means if the spot rate became 90, he will exercise. And when I say he, I mean to say long put. When the spot rate is 80, 70, this means he will exercise. Who will exercise? Long put will exercise. And if the long put is exercising at 70, 80, 90, the short put will always have a loss, right? So lesser the spot rate, higher is the chances that the long put will be exercising, and higher is the chances that a short put will have a loss. And that what exactly you can see by this line, that the profit that he is having here, long put profit, is eventually is a loss for a short put because he sold this to him and he do not holds the right. Now think about it, if the spot rate became 110, if the spot rate became 120, will this long put exercise? This long put will not exercise, and if he is not going to exercise, he is going to lose his 5. If he is going to lose his 5, that what exactly his profitability will be. So it is plus 5. So whatever he is losing by saying that spot rate is higher than my K and I am having a put option, I should not exercise. So he is not exercising, he is losing 5, and this 5 you are getting it. And that what exactly is an end of the 4 different types of a position that is there in option position. I will just zoom out to show you all in one that how does it look like. So this is what we have discussed. It's a very simple one to draw. So if you ask me to someone asks you to draw the long call and then the short call, so long call, short call, outright will go something like this. Similarly, if someone asks you to draw the short call, it is just a simple mirror image, right? And when I say mirror image, I mean to say this down portion will go up and then this up portion will go down, right? Similarly, if someone asks you for a long put, so long put again will go something like this, that you will have it here to here. And again, if you are supposed to draw the short put will go something like this. So it's a covered profitability and a huge loss, which may tend to happen. So let me know in case if you need some clarification on it, I'll be happy to help. Thank you.